Hello, my name is Soko Karsten. Welcome to the Enjoy Experience. These podcasts provide guided exercises to assist you in developing the skills to discover and manifest your own inner joy. I am sharing the ones that I've learned over decades of training and practice and still use daily, finding them to be the most important in my personal journey in life. Today's podcast is entitled Endpoints. This one was originally planned for later, but I believe it could be helpful now for those of you seeking to pinpoint the central axis of your energetic being. It also can assist with the earlier podcast on creative breath and the upcoming podcast on sensory awakening, which is now moved to be published in 2 weeks. There are many endpoints in our life where things reach some form of completion, at least for the moment, and often are born again into a new cycle. Here, we will specifically be looking at the 2 primary endpoints in the breath cycle, the one that occurs at the end of the inhalation and the one that occurs at the end of the exhalation. To explore these transformational moments where cycles turn from one activity and direction to begin an opposing activity and direction, and the specific experience that happens in between, we will use a specific technique that is one that I recommend be used sparingly. In fact, I hesitated to teach it or point towards it at this point, but it is one that I find personally is important for 2 reasons. One, endpoints are limits or perceived boundaries, perceived endings, and yet they are also the space to experience infinity. And 2, endpoints provide a helpful direct activation of your energy to locate your personal source, your personal center. And in that way, like a jump start of an engine or the starter of an engine, they can assist in clarifying that particular energetic space that I am asking you to sit in a grounded way when you connect with others and to your environment. Therefore, this technique, I think, is a powerful one, and as with the analogy to the jump start, should only be used in limited amount because overuse of this can be harmful energetically. I will speak about dosage and finding the right amount of something for our energetic well-being after we do this particular exercise. So let us begin. Please find a comfortable space. This technique can be done sitting or standing. And when you are ready, we will begin. As usual, let's begin with a time spent for personal grounding. You may want to take longer than I provide time in this particular podcast, in which case pause, and then when you feel ready, continue with the rest of the exercise. As usual, let us bring our awareness to our inner sensations in our body, particularly sinking down with our gaze and our spirit into the sensations we feel in our feet, the soles of our feet and where they connect with the floor or the earth. Whatever those sensations are, experience them, breathe with them, and accept them as being complete in this moment. And as you inhale and exhale into these sensations at this time, be aware of the changes in your experience, the different sensations that you feel at each phase of the breath cycle as you breathe with this experience of connection with the earth. Sink into the earth, even imagining yourself going to the very core of the earth and being connected to that core, as you also check your posture to see that you are erect in alignment with the gravity of the earth, your personal center of gravity, that you have your shoulders slightly back, your sternum slightly raised, your chin slightly tucked, the experience of drawing upward the crown of your head even as you remain with a sensation of feeling anchored at the base of your spine, where you gently, with muscular energy as well as intention, hold firmly like holding the hand of a good friend or child. Breathing within the full space of your body, imagining and engaging all of your personal body, your skin, your organs, your bones, your cells, all the different parts of your body, inhaling and exhaling, slowing your breath down, equalizing the inhale and the exhale, accepting each moment as being perfect and complete in terms of whatever sensations you experience that appear with breathing, and particularly with connecting with the earth, with that deeper self of you that we call the earth, but it's also an extension of the sensations that you experience. Bringing the other skills, open your eyes, gaze out into your environment, imagining and experiencing that as you inhale, everything inhales with you. Everything you see and sense and feel inhales behind you, in front of you, below you, above you, within you. All inhale and exhale together. Remind yourself of the simultaneity, the concurrent expansion and contraction that occurs with this activity. So even as you experience the sensations of expansion and opening and radiating out, you're also aware of the side of you that's drawing in, contracting, holding more firmly. As you move through the inhale and then through the exhale. Keeping with the sensations where you're grounded, sinking into that awareness, staying there with the breath cycle so that you can be consistently feeling those sensations as they remain and change. Now become aware of your personal center with your breath, with the concurrent expansion and contraction. Where do you feel the center of this activity in your personal being? You may want to bend a little forward and backward, or left and right, twisting if you like. All of these helping you to recognize where the center point is. It's actually a pinpoint, very tiny point in the very center of your being. Breathing into and out of, exhaling out of this, exhaling into this center point. Experiencing it as the center of your cosmos. Now bring your hands in front of your heart, palms facing each other and touching, becoming aware of the sensations that you feel where palms connect, even as you feel the sensations where your feet connect with the earth. Harmonizing or tuning, recognizing that these sensations have a common ground, seeing if you can feel that space, place where they share as you inhale and exhale. We will now begin the specific exercise for today. With your next inhale, let your arms rise out wide as if you are embracing, opening up to the whole sky and world around you as you inhale. And then when you reach full inhale, with your hands, literally grasp and hold that full inhale experience and grip firmly to it as if you are reaching out and grabbing hold of a limb in a tree or an apple at the top of the tree, grasping it very firmly. And then as you exhale, drawing into your arms to your lower belly. And with a complete exhale, again, gripping firmly locking in the energy into your source. Inhaling, reach your arms down as if you're going to lift a big bag of rice. And when you reach the full inhale, as if you're grabbing hold of that rice, or for that matter, if you're weightlifting, grip firmly for a moment. And then at the end of the exhale, and then as you lift upwards towards the environment that you see all around you, breathing out until you reach the full exhale. And then when you reach that full exhale, again, grip firmly for a moment. Inhaling, reaching open to the sky and heavens. When you reach that full inhale, there's a moment there where everything changes. At that moment, grip it with your hands and then draw it in with the exhale. Exhaling completely as you bring your hands to your core, to your lower belly, and then as you reach the final moment of that exhale where it shifts, grip that shift. Again, inhaling, letting your arms draw down as if you're going to lift up something that's very heavy but is needed by your environment. As you reach under to feel like you've got it, grip again. Full inhale. And then as you exhale, lift up and out towards the environment around you. And at the last moment of that exhale, again, where you feel the shift, grip for a moment. Inhaling, reaching out. Full inhale. Reach that end moment and grip for a moment. Draw in to your lower belly, drawing the energy into your source. At the very end of the exhale, feel that little shift and grip that shift, locking it in. Inhale, reach down for that source, the silence inside of you. And as you reach the full inhale and feel that moment of change, grip that moment. And then raise, offering it into your environment as you gaze out, everything exhaling together to the very end. And then as you reach that full exhale, again, grip for a moment. Inhaling, opening wide, fully being open, allowing the whole universe to come in until reach the full inhale and grasp for a moment firmly, gripping as you exhale, drawing the energy into your source, into your core. Full exhale. At that last moment, like you're locking a door, grip firmly for a second. Then, as you inhale again, reaching into your source, into your being, into the ground, into the earth. Inhaling it fully until you reach that moment where everything is full, and then grip that. And then as you look out into the universe and exhale with that universe, raise your hands, exhaling. And as you reach the full exhale, connecting with everything, grip for a moment. And then open again. Grip at that last moment of inhale. Draw the energy into your source. Exhaling into your core and center to the final, very end moment where it shifts, and grip that moment. Imagine you're now inhaling the silence, the energy within your being in the earth. Inhaling fully, arms descending down, and then grab hold, gripping for a moment. Raising, exhaling, eyes open, providing this energy to the universe. At the last moment, finishes, grip again. Now relaxing your hands, inhaling, bring your palms to in front of your heart, palms connecting in front of your heart, and breathe into that sensation. Feel the ground and the earth connection. So let's pause the exercise for a moment. So we're going to do this exercise again in this podcast, and I'm going to add one more component to it. What I want you to notice is that these endpoints, these points where I'm asking you to activate them by literally clenching for a brief moment, gripping hard with your hands, locking in. This is a technique used in some specialized yoga, and it's called Bunda there. In this case, though, I'm wanting to highlight that with the many of the activities that you have, all the activities that you have, breathing, walking, heartbeat, eating, and so forth, there are endpoints where there is a locking in, there is a gripping. It may be very subtle or very gentle, but there is a moment where the energy completely contracts. And the activation of that is with your hands, as an example, is through this momentary gripping hold of that activity. The best example I can give in your daily life, if you can be aware of this, is that when you go, in some cases, to hug or embrace a friend, at the very last moment of the hug, you feel this natural inclination to briefly grip and hug them more firmly before you let go. Also, in giving handshakes, particularly when you're making a commitment to someone, you will shake their hand, and then at the last moment, there is also a little extra grip that occurs, a complete 100% holding firm as a commitment, and then you let go of the handshake. If you recognize this experience that you've had, that is what we're pointing at. Those endpoints are places that are the end of a particular embrace or relationship. When you grab hold of a tree limb, if you're climbing, and you grip in that first moment as you inhale and grab it, or as you pull in something that is a treasure and lock it into your being, could be a memory into your heart, or drawing in of apples to put them in a bag in front of you. If you look at a lot of the activities in your life, both at the end of the exhale, the end of the inhale, or the end of the complete expansion and the end of the complete contraction, there is a moment where everything comes together 100% in this kind of gripping experience of holding it all together. And since we have this simultaneous expansion and contraction, that moment where we completely expand and completely contract happens concurrently. And so then this gripping activity also happens concurrently. And it's that I want to point at as we do this exercise. Again, we will do it briefly. But now I want you to be aware of your personal center as you do the exercise. And as we inhale and reach that point to grip firmly, I want your awareness in your core, in your center, and where you feel, if you feel, but where you feel the sensation appearing in your core. Where is that happening? The same as you exhale completely, and then have a final little gripping action at the end of the embrace or the end of the handshake. Where do you feel that in your core? So for this part of the exercise, now that you've got an idea of the specifics of the external, I want you to keep your gaze on that inner center point that you have found, or that area that you have found, and use this technique to help further refine and localize and cultivate that personal center. So let's return to the exercise again. First, with your ground and the sensations with your feet connecting with the earth, breathing into that experience. Now bringing the palms of your hands together in front of your heart, breathing into that experience. Whatever the sensations you're feeling where palms connect, whatever sensations you're feeling where feet and earth connect. Breathe in and out of that experience, accepting this experience is complete in this moment. Becoming aware now, particularly of the area that you have associated with your personal center, your core, your source. As you're inhaling and exhaling, inhale and exhale from that particular area or point. Maintaining the earth connection now and this connection with your center. With your next inhale, as you inhale into the center, also let your arms expand outward as we were doing before into a big embrace. And then at the full inhale, grab hold of that moment and feel the sensation as well in your center. As you're exhaling, drawing your energy and your arms into your core, lower belly. You reach the full exhale, and that moment that shifts right there, grip again with your hands and feel whatever sensations change in your center. Inhaling, reach down as if you're drawing into the ocean of chi in the earth and in your being, inhaling that energy till you reach full inhale, and then grip, holding it as you feel your center in that moment, and then exhaling into and from your center as you raise your hands until you reach the end of the exhale, connecting out into your environment, and with that final moment of exhale, grip again, feeling the experience in your core. So do this 4-step exercise at your own speed, and inhalation, inhaling out, opening completely until you grip that, feel the center. Then exhaling, bringing your hands to your core, gripping that, and then down to the silence within you, holding that energy, gripping, and then radiating out and gripping at the end of the exhale. And all the time staying in your center. So continue doing this for a few more times at your own speed of breath, seeing if you can get into the feeling of this on your own, staying in your center so you can become aware of the little shifts and sensations that occur when you reach these endpoints that are now being more clearly activated by this brief gripping, clenching, locking in kind of exercise with your hands. I'm going to now ask you to shift your awareness, bringing your hands in front of your body, palms touching in front of the heart. And now I want you to become aware of your feet and imagining you're an owl on a branch, and you're momentarily, as you reach the full exhale, grip with your toes, curling your toes around that branch. Then exhaling, and then again as you reach full exhale, gripping firmly with your toes again, and inhaling, gripping firmly for a moment, clenching with your toes, and noticing again in the center as you inhale and exhale, but this time instead of gripping with your hands, grip with your feet for a moment at the end of each inhale and exhale. Also activating this source point in your core with this activity, paying attention to that. Sensations that you feel, whatever they are at this point, simply be aware of them as you grip and notice what occurs in your body. Accept it, and then move on with the breath to the next endpoint. And grasp that point as if you're reaching out and then grabbing hold at the last moment. Do that for a few more breaths. All right. Return to the experience in your palms, simply being aware of the sensations you're feeling, where they connect, as well as where your feet connect with the earth. Seeing if you can also bring your core into that harmony, where your palms, your core, personal center of your breath cycle as you inhale, exhale, and your feet all together resonating. Okay, we'll end this guided exercise at this moment. So again, I want to mention I took the chance of having you do this technique for a bit of time. I want you to remind you, though, that this is one, just like when you embrace someone or swallow food or shake hands or all the other body functions of your body, if you start becoming aware of it. This moment is really one little brief moment that occurs at places within the cycle where this real concentrated energy occurs. There are certainly more what I might call minor endpoints throughout the cycle. That there's a constant contraction, expansion occurring within the cycle. Within one big cycle, there are a lot of mini cycles occurring. And so there are many activation points and endpoints throughout your experience all the time. But for this, I particularly wanted to highlight these most profound endpoint and activate them, but recognize that this technique needs to be used sparingly. Dosage in all of your life is very important. It is important with your amount of sleep, the kind of work or exercises you do, and how much you do them, the sex, eating, what you choose to eat, how much you choose to eat, the exercises that I'm providing here, all of them, there's a balance point as to what is the appropriate thing to be eating and what is the appropriate quantity to be eating at what particular time. So all of this requires you to really be aware in each moment, particularly in your core and with the earth. And by listening to this energetic as you participate in the experiences of your life, walking, eating, working, whatever, to notice where the place of harmony is and where enough is enough, where you find if you do too much, you get out of balance and out of harmony. And that will usually go along with having symptoms of either fatigue, depression, or extra anxiety, tension, and pain. So if you start experiencing these kinds of alarm signals, it generally is one of the important parts to it is to recognize what in your life may you be doing too little of or too much of that's engendering an imbalance that is creating either more symptoms that tend to be a sense or feeling of more weakness in your life or spirit, or excessive hyperactivity or tension in your spirit. And by really listening in moment to moment, the same way we've done with the body scans in podcast 1, the breathing, the simultaneous activity, the centering, the grounding, all of these will help you in each moment to recognize the appropriate dosage or amount of the activities that you're involved, like when you should stop eating or when you shouldn't eat this or that, or you should. It's an internal voice that you will cultivate with this kind of activity. And I bring it up in this podcast because it particularly applies to this kind of activation exercise that we did, where you, with 100% of your being, grip firmly to hold something for a moment, just as you would when you really embrace someone really closely, and then that last moment holding, and then you release. It isn't an activity you do too often. If you do, you will notice fairly rapidly, quickly, some symptoms that show your energy is getting too built up. But if done in the moments just to activate or remind you or to start up your center or whatever when you're a little off balance, it can be a very powerful technique to assist you in locating and clarifying and cleansing the energy for that moment. So, an important technique, but one that needs to be used with care. Please practice this a little bit through the day. Notice more the places in your breath cycle, when you're walking, when you're shaking hands, when you're eating, where you naturally have this little brief moment of gripping, like when you swallow, for instance, or when your other body functions as well. Notice those little concentrated moments and become more aware of them, because they are certainly the point of a boundary or a limit when something is done as an endpoint, but they also within them have a true energy of freedom. So if you can really get inside of these experiences, then they will help you to have a deeper relationship with your center and with the connection you have with the ground as well. Okay, that's it for this podcast. Please, next week we will work on the sensory awakening, of which, if you practice what we've done this week, that will, I think, help assist. The key goal I'm having in these podcasts at this point is to really continue in various ways to help you discover the pinpoint of your personal center, your core, that is really this little vortex of energy in your energetic being where everything comes together and radiates from. So keep your awareness in that center when you're walking, when you're breathing, when you have moments to sit, when you're exercising, when you're doing yoga, all the places, particularly where you're doing physical exercises or activities like massage or stretching or what have you. Those are powerful times to really be aware of where is my personal center? How can I sit in this personal center as I'm doing this activity and experience the connection within this activity with my environment along with my personal center. I hope these words are making some sense to you. For now, take care and goodbye.